Welcome back to another episode of Raving and Reviewing. My name is R, and this is my co-host V.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Today we are reviewing the Falcon and Winter Soldier episode 2, The Star-Spangled Man.
That's
First off, what do you think about the new cap?
right. He's got an interesting looking face. The just looks a little off. But I think it's weird. I don't know what to think about him. At first, I'm like, maybe he'll be the main villain. But it seems like he might actually be like one of the good guys, because the way he was introduced, the episode kind of starts off with him kind of prepping to go out into a rally thrown for the new cap.
Yeah.
And there's like a scene where you get to see, I'm guessing it's either his wife or girlfriend. And then you see Battlestar, his, right-hand man, Lamar.
Yeah.
And it seems like you kind of get to know a little bit of him, his personality, and like he kind of seems like a nice dude. Like he has something to prove. He's also done a lot in the military, so I don't think he's gonna be like a bad guy, but I think he will be like a reason for a lot of conflict in the show. But I think he's not gonna be a bad guy or a good guy. I think he's just gonna be one of those guys that's trying to figure out how he fits into this story.
I think that's going to be the same issue with the Flag Smashers, where it's like they're not bad guys, but they're antagonists, but they have causes they want to help someone. Like the Flag Smasher wants to be the best Captain America he can be, but that's gonna upset some people. The same thing, Flag Smashers, they're like, we need to get some resources for the little guys,
right?
But we're doing it in the Robin Hood kind of way.
Yeah, I think the difference between those two things will be that obviously the Flag Smashers are gonna be like, oh god, I'm gonna bring up DC, but Oliver, like season 1, where they're gonna do this with any means necessary, right? Like
Arrow,
they have right, they have a job to do, and if they need to kill for it, they will. And I don't think at least the new Cap will do that, right? He's going to try to keep up the standards, also because he works for the government, right? That's really clear in this episode as well, that he is basically the government. There's several instances in the show where he's just like, oh, who gave permission to do this? And he just kind of points to himself. And you can see that his powers come from the fact that the government is backing him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like he's 100% good. I mean, he will kill. I mean, everybody kills in the Marvel world. Everybody kills and gets away with it.
But they don't kill often, I feel like.
No, Iron Man kills everybody.
Hey, you watch it. Don't speak ill of the dead, okay? You can kill nobody. They all deserved it.
No, I think just seeing him with a gun is interesting.
Yes, yep.
I mean, in the first half there, he has a gun, but once he gets the shield, the gun is away.
Yeah, but there is one scene here, right? So the main fight that comes into this episode is on the truck, right? It's because they're trying to stop these Flag Smashers shipment or something, and they have hostages, right? So they are trying to stop it, and there's 2 trucks that first Falcon and the Winter Soldier get to, right? And then they're trying to they're trying to stop Carly? Is that her name? Did I get the name right?
Carlia. Morgenthau.
Okay. So yeah, they run into her, and there's conflict and fight right away, right? So I think that fight was done really well. I really enjoyed it. It was very good.
I mean, this again is bringing movie level quality to TV.
Oh yes, oh absolutely. That was a lot of fun to watch. There's the 2 trucks. They're actually just kind of bouncing off of both of the trucks and fighting, and it almost kind of reminded me of Pirates of the Caribbean, when they're always fighting from one ship to the next.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right? Yeah. They're swinging from one to the next, so they're kind of doing that with the trucks. And just Falcon flying, and the visual of that was great, right? You kind of get to see him and his perspective when he's flying, so I really enjoyed that. Really good. I think the fight and the choreography with the fight is just so far I've been very impressed. Like you said, movie
both
level.
episode 1, the intro, and then this again. Like, this is like bringing big budget to like TV. So
TV, yeah,
really good, really impressed.
Yes, very much so. So that was good. I like the end of the fight too, and they kind of like fall into the field, and it was almost, it kind of reminded me of Twilight when like, so you don't know much about it, but like there's always scenes when they're like in like a field just hanging out with each other, and it kind of reminded me of that with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It was funny.
Okay, I can kind of see that.
Yeah,
from what I remember.
He was like on top of him for a little bit. I'm like, what the heck? This turned into like a romantic movie for like 5 seconds. But it was it was funny. I like their chemistry leading from that scene into like everything else that goes. Like they have really good like they're ribbing off of each other really well.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I said just between the two characters reminded me of Oliver and Diggle from Arrow. Just, I don't like comparing it, but
you love comparing it.
I do love comparing because I do like Arrow, but no, Bucky is pretty much Oliver and Falcon is Diggle with a sense of humor.
Yes, but a little bit. I feel like because the Arrow is so predominantly focused on Oliver, and obviously this is a 2-cast show, so obviously like he's Diggle times 25, right? Because he's got like a whole backdrop and story. And so yeah, I'm loving their chemistry. Like Oliver and Diggle have awesome chemistry too, right? So I think that part definitely translated, so we can make that comparison for sure.
Yeah, I mean that definitely showed up when they're sneaking around the Flag Smashers' little camp area.
Yep.
And then like you're sneaking around, and he's like, "I'm a super soldier. I can just go in and do it myself." And then Falcon's like, "What are you talking about? You got a plan." And then Bucky just goes and sneaks in, and then 2 seconds later, Falcon comes in. And he's like, "I can do the same thing you can do."
Yeah, I like how he kind of brings Wakanda into it, right? Like he's like, just because you were in Wakanda, you think you're the White Wolf or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I looked that up because it seemed important, right? So I looked it up. So I think one of the theories online, and I don't know if this is confirmed or not, but one of the theories is that Bucky will eventually be the White Wolf in the Black Panther franchise.
Yeah.
Not 100% sure, but that's what I read.
Mean, to me, I'm not familiar with this character, but it would be cool to see like him progress from after this. Where does Bucky go? Honestly, I mean, this show is like, who's gonna get the shield at the end? And to me, Falcon's gonna get it. Bucky's just gonna be the side guy.
Yeah.
And like he's gonna retreat to Wakanda or something. So I can see that happen.
Because the majority of his healing and his like newfound Buckiness, I guess for the lack of a better word, comes from him being in Wakanda and having all the help that he got when he needed, right? So I think it makes sense for his story then to continue into that sphere. So I'm excited.
It's like he has his list. He has his little book of like things to redeem himself.
God, Oliver, you're so right. You're so right. He's Oliver. He's Marvel's Oliver.
I don't mind that. It's great. No, but once he solves that list, he's like, what is he left to do as like 100-year-old man? He has nothing left.
True.
So like joining Wakanda, joining the sister, I forget her name.
Oh, from the last episode?
No, the sister from Black Panther.
Oh, shoot, yeah. I can't remember.
Whatever her name is, so she's going to be the one pretty much now that Chadwick Boseman passed away. She's probably going to take up the role as the main character. And then, so I could see like Bucky being there as like the support person.
Suri?
Oh yeah, Yuri.
Yuri. Oh,
that's also the name of the Asian guy from last episode.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right, Yuri.
No.
Okay, so yeah, I think, and they had like kind of chemistry in that one little scene that they did in Black Panther too. So I like this theory.
He gets his arm from her.
Yeah, so I think maybe there's something there. I'm hoping for, but that's the theory I read online. I don't know if it's true or not.
No.
And the other important thing that happened was the first Black soldier.
First successful, yes. Yeah, so we were introduced to Isaiah Bradley in Maryland. and he's, I guess, they explained like there's 300 soldiers tested on with similar serums to Cap's, and Isaiah's was the only one that was successful. And it's great. I mean, it just shows like this has some real, I guess, implications of like the black superhero never made it to big time. He never got to shine.
Yeah, you're right. Like the impact of that it had on Sam too, right? Like he reacts to it quite like intensely, right? So he's like, what? So there was a black soldier all these years ago? How come I'm hearing about this just now, right?
Yeah.
So I like how he reacted to it. And Isaiah himself, that casting decision was perfect. That guy is so buff.
Yeah. No, he's great. He definitely
I don't know
displays like a powerful man. And then I hope we get to see more, maybe like a flashback, because they reference like he fought Bucky in his time and ripped his arm off.
Yeah.
And that's like a cool, like, man, that'd be a cool scene to go back and see.
Whooped your butt, as he said, right? Yeah. I want to see more of him, and I think we're gonna either get a flashback or Isaiah come back and kind of be a little bit more impactful to the story, which I'd love to see this actor again. He was strong looking, and I liked it, and I liked that interaction with them too. But even afterwards, right? And I think there's one more thing you wanted to say during that interaction, which I told you I didn't want to hear because it's spoilers, potentially, right? Or not really?
I mean, maybe features for a new show.
Okay.
The guy who opens the door for him.
Who is he, by the way? Oh, it's his grandson. Okay. All right. I thought it was his nephew or something like that.
Or assuming it's grandson.
Okay.
But from the credits, it shows his name is Eli Bradley. And Eli Bradley in the comics turns out to be the Patriot, which is a superhero that's a part of the Young Avengers.
Okay. So potentially he might be important in a different show that Disney might be planning.
Or possibly he could get some powers by the end of this show.
Okay.
I feel like he won't. I feel like they just kind of name dropped him, brought him in. Yeah. Same as for the WandaVision, they brought in the kids. Those are Wiccan and Speed.
Yeah, but they ended up being important, right? The kids, the end of the show, they were pretty important. So yeah, I think there might be some stock to that. So a couple of theories came out of this episode. They did a really good job with like little Easter eggs.
No, I could see like for sure, like they're leading up to like a Young Avengers TV show or movie. Honestly, I don't know much about Young Avengers other than like they're forming, like the Hawkeye's daughter is one of them, but she's going to be her own show. This Patriot is going to be like a Captain America like kind of character.
Was he annoying to you through like not Patriot but Captain America throughout the
John Walker?
John Walker.
Yes, I'm not a fan.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I mean he tries to prove that like he says this line to when they're in the car together.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to be Steve Rogers. I'm just trying to be the best Cap I can be. I like that. Then he said the line. It's like, if I had Cap's wingman with me, I think that'd be a better look. And then Falcon's like, no, that's
not interested. And then he's like, just stay out of my way. And I was like, hey, you just ruined it.
Yeah.
He's like, then stay out of my way. I'm like, why? That's not necessary. Yeah, I agree. I think there was parts of him that are almost nice because he kind of admits that, okay, I'm never going to live up to the Captain America that was here before. But also I think he just has so much that he's trying to prove, and we don't know too much of his backstory. Like I said, we only had like that 2 or 3 minutes in the beginning. So I can't really root for this guy just yet. And when he was first fighting in the episode, there's music that they're playing that wasn't quite Captain America's music.
No, it's a mix of it. It's definitely like
which was interesting.
To it.
So we looked it up, and that's apparently the music they played when the Cap was kind of in the beginning was like pretending to be like the hero for, I guess, the government or the country. And they played this music that they played for John Walker. So it's kind of like the government version of Captain America or something like that.
But talking about the intro rally scene or later on?
No, like the original Captain America. I guess whenever in the first one, which I haven't seen in a while, but apparently my sister looked it up, and that music was from when the Cap was kind of like the poster child for the government.
Oh yeah, so I was gonna bring that up. The song, the name of the episode, "The Star Spangled Man," is the song they sing before Cap gets like actually allowed to like do anything. He was like, they made him into a comic, and then he danced and sang posters. So they referenced that again here. So they remade that in with this John Walker version.
Yes.
The whole intro was pretty much a remake, modern version of what they did in the 1940s.
Yeah. So the music that they used was the same one they used for him when they were trying to do that. I don't know how true it is, but it's something my sister saw on Instagram.
No, it's true.
It's true.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
No, another thing was like, there's like that similarities. There's so many scenes where they're referencing older things.
Yeah.
That like Cap did.
Yeah.
Or like Bucky, like from the other movies, like when they're fighting on the truck. Like John Walker gets pushed off by Carly onto the whatever other car. That's like complete like same like scene that like I think in Ultron, where Ultron kicks Cap off into a car, or maybe it's Bucky onto the car and Winter Soldier, but it's like iconic, like same exact scenes.
Yeah, they repeated it.
There's the one where Carly kicks Bucky off out of the back of the truck. That's the same as the Ultron scene, I think.
Yeah.
So there's like a lot of like things that are like perfectly
Similar.
Matching.
Yeah.
From older references, and it's like that's pretty good. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
There.
Or some might say they're too lazy and they're just repeating the same fights.
No, they're not.
Okay, I'm just making sure. I wouldn't. I thought those fights were great. Takes too much work.
No, it's like one-off things. It's not whole fights.
Yeah. And I also liked, just going back to us talking about Isaiah, and I think I like when Falcon's walking in and there's these two black kids just sitting there, and he's like, oh, my dad said you're a Black Falcon. He's like, why am I Black Falcon? Why can't I just be Falcon? He's like, why, you're a black kid? I thought that was kind of cute, how they were like ribbing off of each other and the kids are all laughing.
No, that was really good.
Yeah. And then the scene ends with basically
the police
disrespecting Sam, right? Until Bucky says, until
don't you know who this is?
Yeah. So they didn't listen to Sam, which, we were talking about how like, Disney's kind of trying to talk about how the world is right now and some of the issues that people might be facing, especially, Black men. So I thought that was very interesting that they're slowly, and I think the show they're definitely going to, especially if we're going to get a first, Black Captain America, right? That'd be it.
One that's in the spotlight.
Right. So I like that they're slowly kind of inching towards that discussion.
That scene with the police was really good. And I think like they needed to have that, and then they arrest like Bucky, and it's like,
I like how it ended with the white guy getting arrested, not the black guy. That was interesting. And what for? And they apologize to Bucky when they're putting him in cuffs too, which I don't know if you caught that. That was interesting. They're like, we're sorry, Mr. Barnes. Yeah. Like, we're sorry, Mr. Barnes. I was like, whoa, okay. I guess you got to apologize when you're arresting him.
Yeah.
But also the reason for their arrest, to switch to a little bit more of a lighter subject, is because Bucky was skipping therapy. So throughout the series, in the past 2 episodes, he's kind of been going to therapy more. So in the last episode and this episode, there's this one epic scene that's coming where Bucky and Sam actually both end up going to kind of like couples counseling almost.
Yeah.
This has got to be one of the best things they have done in this show. Because like I said, their chemistry is really good. Not just when they're fighting or when they're having a conversation, but even comically, right?
Yeah.
It's so good. Like they're just sitting and they're supposed to do the staring. What was she calling it? I can't remember now. But they like end up having a stare contest with each other.
Yeah.
And they can't sit right? So they're trying to get close and just they're moving their feet into each other.
She's like, I'm gonna do therapy for couples.
Yes. Yep.
But she did it for 2 like
the
friends.
2 of them. Yeah. So they're now into a staring contest, and then none of them are blinking because they're both very stubborn.
Yeah,
and
both
then
not communicating, and
no,
like
yeah,
he knows that like they need to resolve something here to like they want to help solve this issue with the Flag Smashers or whatever.
yep.
They gotta team up together. They can't be fighting. And then it ended up with Falcon leaving. He's saying,
Yeah.
"You shouldn't have gave up the shield," and he's like, "I did what I thought was right."
Yeah,
And he walked out.
And that's fair, right? I think even though that scene had a lot of funny, like I urge anyone who hasn't seen like or is on the edge of watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you should watch it just for the scene because it's hilarious. It was really funny. They have really good chemistry, and even though the end of the actual therapy session is like you said, Sam walks out. I think his reasoning for why he did what he had to do. He kept telling Bucky, this has nothing to do with you. He made the decision that he thought would be the best for him. And for whoever the next Captain America might be, right? He just wasn't interested. I get the importance of the fact that Captain America gave him the shield as, okay, now you're going to have to take up the pedestal.
No.
It's not fair, right? He had to make the decision himself. But I think Bucky's so butthurt because someone didn't listen to his best friend, Steve.
No.
And he just doesn't I get where Bucky's coming from, but I also understand where Sam's coming from. So I think that was, in that sense, it was good. That at least Sam got to say his point of view and say, listen, I did what I thought was right, period.
Yeah, I mean, he thought it was right, and he didn't expect them to give up the shield back in like a month. I don't know how long it's been, but
yeah, no, he didn't, and he says that he was, he was kind of hurt by it too, right? But they also talked about what happened the last time they tried to steal the shield, right? They
brought up the Sharon.
Yep.
So like she'll be coming back eventually.
Yep, we know that. Okay, and then the end, right? So after the therapy session, I think then they just walk out and then they decide to go see Zemo, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're trying to figure out who knows more about people with super soldiers.
Yes. Yep.
And the whole point, like Civil War, was the ending, which I guess like people don't really remember. Like Zemo was technically, I guess, trying to, I guess, create new super soldiers at the end, but it doesn't happen.
Right.
It's just a ploy to get them there. He didn't really have soldiers there. So this is now like, does he actually know where the serum is coming from?
Right.
And that's one thing that Flag Smashers, like when they're escaping or running away, I think one of the guys gets left behind, and then he has to face the Power Broker's men. That name was dropped. So the Power Broker seems to be like the bigger villain right now.
Right. So you don't think the Flag Smashers might be the bigger conflict? You think maybe eventually?
No, I think they're like a medium villain where the Power Broker will be the bigger person in this. Like the last episode, the name Power Broker was teased in the credits, and then this one it was name dropped a few times.
Okay.
And the Power Broker seems like he's the one making the serum.
Yeah, and distributing it to all these people. Okay, that'll be interesting.
Yes, I could see definitely like newer people are going to get the serum. Like the Flag Smash people have it already. Then these Power Broker men have it as well, and they might be stronger because they have better, more powerful serum. Different effects, different to people. So I think my question is: do you think that Falcon will get the super serum? This by the end of the show.
Yeah. That will be interesting just because his reaction to finding out that Isaiah existed was so visceral. That will be interesting. Yeah. Oh my God. I didn't even think about it like that. I hope so.
I'd say he won't take it.
Yeah, maybe he has an option, but he wants to keep true to who he is, and
so I think that the new Captain America will fail in fighting the Flag Smashers or the Power Broker, and he will take the serum himself. And it's gonna make him more corrupt.
Yes.
Like in a old Bucky kind of way.
Old Bucky's. Well, I mean, I think just his decision, if he does end up taking it, it already, you gain power through selfish means, and already you're corrupt, right? Because you did this for yourself rather than for the good of America or good of mankind. So yeah, I think there's a really easy way to corrupt this new Captain America. And obviously the shield's coming back to these guys, right? Which I forgot to mention, there is a part in the fight on the trucks where Bucky actually
touches
the shield. Yeah, I until I saw it today, I didn't catch that part. And there's a little bit of a slow motion there. Like they want you to look at that moment as it's something important. So I think the mystery of this show, I know Wanda had more of a mystery, but the mystery of this show is going to be like, I think they're going to tease Bucky kind of also wanting the shield. I think eventually it's going to go to Sam, the Falcon.
Yeah.
But there's going to be some Bucky scenes with the shield as well, because it's clearly very important to him because it's a symbol of his friend. So
no, I think they're going to, if he could have it, he would take it. But he knows that like Sam it should go to Sam.
Yeah. Sam should have it, what are your theories going forward?
I mean, so besides, the episode ended with Zemo, and I predict Zemo will be free by the first 5-10 minutes of next week's episode.
Yes. You think he's going to be the main bad guy, or just?
I think the Power Broker doesn't seem like he's the bad guy. He'll be just giving serums out.
Okay.
Or he will maybe like. I don't think there'll be another person introduced. I think that's it. Like,
I hope
serum, and then that's gonna given to Battlestar and the John Walker. And then them two will have to face off against like Bucky and Falcon. Which is interesting because they like the big funny moment at the beginning was like, oh, we're facing the big three. Which one?
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's such a great scene. The wizard, and then
Android. Like, what was it? Android.
Aliens
or wizards.
Yeah.
The sorcerer is a wizard without a hat. That was great, and I completely and totally agree with Sam there. A sorcerer is a wizard without a hat.
Yeah.
That's true. All right.
That's great. No, it's perfect. I think that's my favorite scene, honestly.
Yeah, that was good. So there was one weird thing that I noticed when I was watching the trailer, where apparently Bucky was kind of sweet on Sam's sister.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, so there might be, and I remember when I watched the first episode and she was in it, I was like, oh my god, she's so pretty. So I hope there's something that's gonna happen with Bucky, because that girl needs some love. She's too pretty to be alone. So I think
he was in Wakanda, so he's interested in.
So he left his old date. She was never mentioned in this episode, so maybe.
Yeah, so I didn't like that. I wish they mentioned something, or kind of started there and then Falcon left. Maybe like one scene even there.
Yeah, I think it's
out of 6 episodes, one whole episode, you're gonna not even bring up New Orleans.
I know, but I think they're gonna go back and it's gonna be more important. And I really, really want this to happen now that the idea is in my head.
Yeah. So, no, I like that.
That's it's gonna be good. Yay. Okay.
Yeah. One thing I forgot to mention was Falcon's Red Wing was destroyed by Carly.
Okay.
And then they later on mentioned that the U.S. government owns Falcon's tech, so they're spying on him through that.
Oh.
The new cap tells him that that's why they knew about the big three, and that's why they knew about where the Flag Smashers would be in Germany or Switzerland or wherever they were, even. Germany, right?
Yep. That's right, because they've been. Oh, I didn't even catch that. Right, they're following them.
I'm wondering, like, are they going after them because the government wants to, or are they going after them because they want the serum? But there was also a line like they didn't know there's super soldiers were a thing until they were told. So who knows? What?
Not sure.
But it's suspicious that they were spying on Falcon
Yeah, I didn't even catch that. I just thought it was something funny that they're doing, but he's listening in. That makes sense. Wow.
So now that Red Wing is gone,
yeah,
Sam's gonna have to create some new tech.
right, and he's free. I think now it's really gonna force him to steal the shield, obviously, because his powers were basically coming from these wings, right? And
I mean, he has his own wings.
He does, but
I mean, it's just his drone with like some camera, and it seems like that tech is pretty advanced because he scanned the room and he found like
that's
not
what
two
I mean.
People, there's 5 people.
I mean, that's pretty useful, right? If he doesn't have that, he's a couple of like features down, right? He's been downgraded, so I think he's gonna need to do something to kind of upgrade back up.
I can see that being like a Sharon is like their tech person that's gonna like fill in like, all right, we need some new like, I don't know where she's working for now. Shield is gone.
Yeah.
She's not part of SWORD, it doesn't seem like, so.
She's a free agent, I'm sure.
Yeah, so she's gonna probably bring the tech. She's gonna be the Felicity of the show.
Oh, lordy lord. We're just gonna keep making these comparisons. You know, it cannot be unseen once you see it. It's really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm okay with it. If it's season 1 Arrow, I'm fine with it.
I mean, it's season 2 because they're dealing with super soldiers.
Okay, season 2 wasn't bad either. Yeah, well, yeah, that's right. Oh God, that's right.
The Mirakuru and Slade's mask. The masks remind me of because they weren't great masks for the army in season 2.
All right, so something to look forward to. I'm excited for her. I think hers is going to be more in a cameo capacity. I think she'll come in one episode. I don't think she's going to be there for the whole show. I mean, 2 episodes down and she hasn't even been mentioned yet, so.
No, she was mentioned. She hasn't been
here. She was, she was mentioned briefly, but she hasn't been there, right? So I think she might be a 1 episode guest star.
I wonder what Hydra has to do with any of this, if there is anything.
Yeah, they mentioned Hydra too. So
because he's like your people, and it kind of was like a reference. Like, is he talking about white people or is he talking about Hydra? It was dealing with like the black super soldier, and it's like your people still dealt with me. Right. And it was like ambiguous. Like, what is he talking about? Even Bucky was confused.
Yeah. Well, Sam definitely was, right? Yeah. Bucky said, "Oh, he's talking about Hydra," but Sam's like, "Oh, he's like, don't take it personally," because he thought he was talking about white people.
Yeah.
So, all right. I think this episode was good. It seems like it's opening up the story more and more. We're getting more chemistry, right? This is the first episode we didn't talk about this because in the last episode, Sam and Bucky didn't meet. In this episode, they met.
Yeah.
Right, for the first time in the series. And we were very pleasantly surprised, and I hope they keep this up.
No, yeah, very impressed with this episode. I can't wait to see more.
Yeah, we're never not impressed.
No, we were not impressed with that WandaVision episode.
That's true. That's very true. All right, that's all I had. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
No, that's it.
That's it. All right, so we'll see you guys next week.